It was January of 1969, and I was meeting Bergman for the first time. We had corresponded sporadically throughout the previous decade. My first letter from him was dated 6th of June, 1959. I think it is much better that we meet for a personal talk next time you visit Stockholm. I never went, but when I published my first little pamphlet on Bergman's work, I sent it to him in Sweden. On the 9th of February 1962, he wrote that he had read it with the greatest pleasure. He had, he continued, just finished The Communicants, Winter Light, and I have started to cut the film. In that situation, I never talk about my work. I am feeling too frightened. Another polite letter followed on the 4th of September. I am, unfortunately, just in the final part of my film, The Silence, and my principle is, and has to be, not to meet anyone during the shooting. We can perhaps meet later this coming autumn. By way of apology, Bergman would arrange tickets for me at the theatre, and on one occasion even asked Len Hutzbe, his assistant, to take me to dinner. I knew him at one remove, as it were, nourished by the awed, almost reverential tones of those who had spoken to me about the unquestioned master. Bergman at that time presided like a deity over Swedish cinema, and his opinion on young directors and even industry decisions was decisive. 2 days after our encounter in 1969, however, he invited me to dinner at Theater Grillen, the legendary restaurant adjacent to the Royal Dramatic Theatre, where he had a small table perennially reserved. From this position, Bergman could observe not only other guests, but also everyone who entered the main door. Occasionally he would lean forward conspiratorially and make an acid remark about an actor he despised. A couple of years later, we sat down for our first formal conversation in his austere office on the top floor of the Royal Dramatic Theatre, with its upright chairs, bare walls, small truckle bed, and mineral water and glasses on a table. He talked of The Touch. It's probably the nearest of my films to reality, but nevertheless a dream full of sadness and desire. Did he still believe in his dictum that the theatre was his wife and the movies his mistress? Forget it, he laughed. Now I'm living in bigamy.